While most people assume resilience looks loud, pushing forward, staying optimistic, constantly bouncing back, there is a quieter group of adults whose resilience looks very different. They speak less about their experiences, react more slowly to new stress, and often seem emotionally distant, not because they lack depth, but because they've already carried more than most people ever see. To the outside world, they can appear withdrawn, overly cautious, or even disconnected, yet psychology suggests something else is happening beneath the surface. Their nervous system has been shaped by prolonged exposure to emotional overload. And this is the part that's often misunderstood. People who have gone through too much are not broken in the dramatic sense. They are adapted. When stress, loss, or responsibility accumulates over long periods of time, the brain learns to prioritize survival over expression. From a neuroscience perspective, this often involves heightened threat detection, reduced tolerance for unnecessary stimulation, and a strong preference for predictability. What looks like emotional distance is frequently emotional conservation. One common trait in this group is selective engagement. They don't invest energy everywhere, and they don't react to every provocation. This isn't apathy, it's discernment developed through experience. Behavioral psychology shows that repeated overwhelm trains the brain to minimize exposure to situations that offer little emotional return. Over time, small talk feels draining, social obligations feel heavy, and chaos, emotional or environmental, becomes something to avoid rather than manage. Another pattern is emotional compression. People who have endured too much often feel deeply, but express narrowly. Instead of processing emotions outwardly, they internalize them, regulating from the inside rather than seeking external release. This can be misread as coldness or indifference, especially in a culture that equates emotional health with visibility. In reality, many of these individuals are highly self-aware, but have learned that not every feeling needs to be shared to be understood. There is also a shift in how meaning is assigned. After prolonged hardship, priorities tend to narrow. Excitement becomes less important than stability. Novelty matters less than peace. This isn't a loss of ambition, it's a recalibration of value. Psychological research on post-adversity adaptation consistently shows that people who have endured sustained stress often redefine success in quieter, more personal terms. What makes this group especially misunderstood is that their coping strategies don't look like recovery. They look like withdrawal. But withdrawal, in this context, is often a boundary rather than a collapse. It's the mind's way of saying, I've learned what happens when there are no limits. Understanding this pattern doesn't require diagnosing it or trying to fix it. It simply requires recognizing that endurance leaves marks that aren't always visible, and that restraint can be a sign of wisdom rather than damage. Recognizing a pattern like this doesn't mean you need to reinterpret your past or change how you live. Sometimes awareness alone is enough to soften judgment, toward yourself or toward others. What you choose to do with that understanding is entirely up to you.